Our planet Earth formed about 4 billion years ago. It was a very different place then. It was hot and there was no air to breathe, but something amazing happened. Water appeared. Water is important for life. Scientists believe water arrived on Earth from asteroids and comets. Over time, Earth cooled down, the early atmosphere formed. It was not like the air we breathe today. Lightning struck the Earth. This energy caused chemical reactions. These reactions created the building blocks of life. These building blocks are called organic compounds. They include things like DNA, the blueprint of life. Eventually, about 3.5 billion years ago, the first cells appeared. These single-celled organisms were tiny, but they were alive. They could reproduce by making copies of themselves. This was a huge step for life on Earth. It marked the beginning of an incredible journey. Life on Earth started to change. Single-celled organisms evolved into more complex life forms. This process took millions of years. One important development was sexual reproduction. This is when two parents combine their genes to create offspring. Sexual reproduction led to more variation among organisms. This variation helped life to adapt and thrive. Another important factor in evolution is mutation. Mutations are changes in an organism's DNA. Sometimes mutations can be harmful, but sometimes mutations can be beneficial. They can give an organism an advantage in its environment. These beneficial mutations are more likely to be passed on to the next generation. Over time, mutations in natural selection led to the development of new traits and species. Life on Earth became more diverse. New and wonderful creatures evolved in the oceans. The tree of life began to branch out in many different directions. For billions of years, life existed only in the oceans, but about 375 million years ago, a big change happened. Life began to move onto land. This was a challenging transition. Creatures had to adapt to a drier environment with less support for their bodies. They also had to find new ways to breathe and move. One of the first creatures to venture onto land was a fish-like creature. It had developed lungs that allowed it to breathe air. It also had strong fins that it could use to drag itself across the land. Over time, these fins evolved into limbs. These limbs allowed animals to walk, run, and jump on land. Another important adaptation for life on land was the development of skin that could protect animals from the sun's harmful rays. Early land animals also developed amniotic eggs. These eggs could survive outside of water, which allowed animals to lay their eggs on land. About 250 million years ago, a catastrophic event occurred on Earth. It is called the Permian extinction. Volcanic eruptions caused massive climate change. These changes wiped out about 95% of all species on Earth. This event was a major setback for life, but it also created opportunities for new species to evolve. After the Permian extinction, a group of reptiles called archosaurs became dominant. These archosaurs evolved into dinosaurs. Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 150 million years. They were some of the largest and most impressive animals that ever lived. However, about 66 million years ago, another catastrophic event occurred. An asteroid struck the Earth. This impact caused widespread wildfires, tsunamis, and a global dust cloud that blocked out the sun. This event, known as the KPG extinction, wiped out the dinosaurs along with many other species. The KPG extinction marked the end of the dinosaur era, but it also paved the way for the rise of mammals. Mammals had evolved alongside dinosaurs, but they were small and mostly nocturnal. After the dinosaurs went extinct, mammals diversified and filled many of the ecological niches that were left vacant. Among the mammals that flourished after the KPG extinction were primates. Early primates were small, tree-dwelling creatures. They had grasping hands and feet that allowed them to climb trees. They also had forward-facing eyes that gave them good depth perception. Over time, some primates evolved to live on the ground. These primates developed adaptations for walking upright. They also developed larger brains and more complex social structures. These primates were the ancestors of humans.